Reading a green, it can feel like total guesswork sometimes. In this little guide, we're going to break it all down and turn it into a simple, repeatable skill you can take out on the course literally your next round. Does this look familiar? You're standing over a putt, you're trying to figure out which way it's going to break, and honestly, it just feels like a complete guess. You are definitely not alone. But what if I told you there's a clear method to solve this puzzle every single time?
Because here's the thing, reading a green isn't some secret talent that only the pros are born with. No way. It's a skill, and just like any other skill in golf, you can learn it. Stick with me and we'll break it down into a simple process that anyone can follow.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to start with a big picture. Then we'll find something called the fall line, which is crucial. After that, we'll learn to measure the slope with our feet, find an exact aim point, master pace, and finally, talk about how to practice this stuff effectively. It's a simple 6-step routine. Let's get into it.
All right, step 1. And this might surprise you, but it actually starts before you even step onto the putting surface. Yeah, the whole process of reading the green begins as you're walking up to it. You gotta look at the whole landscape to get your first big clues.
Here's a really easy mental trick that makes a huge difference. As you're approaching the green, I want you to imagine a heavy downpour. Just picture it. Now, where would all that water drain? Where would it flow? Just visualizing that path of the water instantly shows you the main overall slope of the green. Okay, so you see the big picture now. It's time to zoom in on what is probably the single most important reference point on any green, the fall line. Honestly, this one concept is the absolute key to understanding how every single putt is going to break.
So what is the fall line? Well, it's just the steepest downhill path that runs directly away from the hole. The easiest way to think about it is this. If you could pour a bucket of water right into the cup, the path that water takes as it flows away, that is the fall line. It becomes the baseline for every single read you're about to make. And this leads to a brilliantly simple rule that just works every time. If your golf ball is sitting to the right of that imaginary fall line, your putt will always break to the left. If it's to the left of the fall line, it's going to break to the right. And if you happen to be putting straight up or straight down that line, you got it? It's a dead straight putt. It's really that simple.
Okay, so now we know the direction of the break, but the big question is how much will it break? And that all comes down to how steep the slope is. To figure that out, we're going to use a tool you always have with you, your feet. Here's exactly how you do it. Stand right at the hole, and I want you to take 3 big steps directly down that fall line we just found. Now, stop. Just stand there and feel the slope in your feet. From that spot, try to estimate how many inches higher the hole is. Is it just 1 inch? Maybe 2 or 3? You gotta trust what your feet are telling you. And here's the easy part, the conversion. For every single inch of height difference you feel over those 3 steps, you're looking at a 1% slope. So if the hole feels about 2 inches higher than where you're standing, boom, that's a 2% slope. This gives you a real, actual number to work with, not just a guess. All right, we know the direction of the break, and now we have a pretty good idea of the steepness. So where exactly do we aim the putter to make up for that break? For this, we're going to use a really cool little visualization trick called the 90-degree angle trick. Let's walk through this. First, you're going to stand so the hole is directly to your side. That's a 90-degree angle to the fall line. From that spot, just imagine hitting a perfectly straight putt. How far downhill would it break? Maybe it's a foot, maybe 6 inches. Whatever that distance is, I want you to simply mirror that exact same distance to the uphill side of the hole. And that spot right there, that's your aim point. Now, picking the right line, that's only half the battle. This is so important. If your speed, your pace is wrong, even a perfect read is not going to find the bottom of the cup. Line and speed, they work together as a team, and you have to control them both. So this is where we have to separate 2 different ideas. Your aim point is what controls your line, right? That's where you point the putter. But to control your pace, you need to think about a distance point. This is an imaginary spot past the hole where you want the ball to end up if it misses. It's all about getting your speed just right. Think about it this way. For an uphill putt, you've got to give it a little extra oomph, right? So your distance point is actually past the hole. But for one of those slippery downhill putts, you want to be way softer. Your distance point might even be before the hole, and you just let gravity do the rest of the work. So there you have it, a complete system. But how do you start to really believe in it and build confidence? Well, you do it through practice, with immediate feedback. This is what really turns the theory into a skill you can rely on out on the course.
A really great way to calibrate your feel is with some modern tools, like a green reading app. You can think of it like a digital coach that's right there in your pocket. It can instantly check your read and actually show you the real physics behind the putt.
So why use an app? Well, it lets you go through your whole routine, make your read, and then immediately check it against reality to see if you are right. You start to learn exactly how speed and slope work together, which helps you build a real feel for it. And over time, that feedback loop makes your whole routine feel automatic and totally trustworthy.
So let's put this all together. I know we've gone through a lot of information, but it all boils down to one simple, repeatable routine that you can take with you to every single green. Here it is, your 6-step checklist. First, observe the landscape as you walk up. Second, find the fall line from the hole. Third, measure the slope with your feet. Remember, 1 inch equals 1%. Fourth, use that 90-degree trick to find your aim point. Fifth, adjust your pace using a distance point. And finally, practice and verify your reads with an app. That's it. That is the entire system.
So, the next time you're on the course, don't just look at the green. I want you to read it. Go through these steps, understand what the green is telling you, and then trust the process you've learned. You are going to be amazed at how much of the guesswork you can finally take out of your putting.